You're listening to Innovators Can Laugh, the fun startup podcast. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Eric Melcher. And on Innovators Can Laugh, we investigate a new topic each week and interview some of the most innovative minds in the startup scene here in Europe. My goal is to turn my guests' wisdom into actionable advice that you can use to grow your business. No matter your industry, I'm here to uncover value from my guests by doing the proper research and asking the right questions. And at the end of each interview, we have a little fun where my guests reveal fun and interesting facts about themselves, the stuff you won't see on their LinkedIn profile. If you're new to the show, I'm a marketing geek and head of partnerships at tech startup Bonjoro. I'm also an American expat living in Romania. If you're curious about other European startups and what they're doing to scale, gain customers, or things that they do to differentiate themselves, hit the subscribe button because you'll love it here at Innovators Can Laugh podcast. Also, you can play the Innovators Can Laugh game and have an opportunity to compete against other startup folks on Twitter. Just look for the hashtag Innovators Can Laugh. Hey, ICO fans, imagine this. Let's say you had a product and you're getting all kinds of referrals from people who never even used your product. How can that be? Yeah, like 9 out of 10 people who recommend you never even used your product. Well, this is the life of Dagobert Renouf. He's the co-founder of Logology, and a little more than a year ago, he was actually struggling. That's right. His business was not getting any traction, and he was averaging only 1 user per week. And it was like that for 13 months. He was about to give up, and then he decided, why not share my story on Twitter? And what happened next is nothing short of incredible. His Twitter following went from less than 100 followers to thousands in just a few short weeks, and his revenue quadrupled. It's quite amazing. So in this episode, we dive into Dagobert Renouf, how he strategically uses Twitter to build a community, share his story, and grow his brand. Let's dive in. I would like to start off with a recent tweet that I saw by Kevin C.W. Helland. He said, yesterday someone asked where they could get a logo design for a new project. I instantly thought of logology.co. Why? Because Dago Renouf is so consistent with his hilarious meme posting, engagement, and general presence on Twitter. Top of mind, tip of tongue. So now what I find is so interesting is that last year you were barely making any money from logology.co, and you only had a little more than 100 followers on Twitter. You were struggling, Dago. Now you have people recommending you on Twitter. What happened? Tell us the story here.
I never expected that to happen. To give you a bit of context, I'm not good at social stuff. I mean, just even in real life, not just social media. I'm just I'm pretty introverted. When I'm with a few people I trust, I can feel very good and I'm confident and I'm happy. But if it's just a bunch of people, I don't know how to do things. I don't know how to network and all these crazy things people do, oh yeah, let's go and network. It's something I don't know how to do that. But with Twitter, I don't know, I just started sharing my story, and I noticed that because I don't try to network, I just try to share what I'm going through. I noticed that it connected with people on a deeper level. It's not just some sound good bullshit. I'm just trying to, say something that's real, and sometimes, it's not necessarily going to get a lot of engagement some days, but it's going to get some people to really give a shit about it, cause it's real stuff, and so, but I also do stuff that gives some volume of a lot of people seeing it, with memes and stuff like that. We'll probably talk about that later, I assume. But basically the whole thing that happened that I didn't try to make happen is by sharing my story, people connected with it and they started caring about me personally, not just my startup, starting to caring about me because they, somehow identify with me as a founder. The struggles that I talk about, they have the same. So it creates very deep connection. And then I noticed, and I was surprised, like I started seeing this like this summer, people started recommending my product, and actually the fun thing is 9 out of 10 people who recommend it, they never bought anything. They just like me and what I'm doing. Like they never needed a logo from me or anything, but they probably just tried it like, oh, it's nice. And because they appreciate me, then they recommend me. And I remember seeing that the first time that was last summer. I'm not sure, but I would say August, maybe September. And like, I remember someone asking, hey, I need a logo. Who can help? And he had like 30 replies and 9 of them was logology. And it was completely shocking to me because it's someone I don't know. I didn't follow this person. And like, it was shocking to me. I was like, and again, 9 of these people were not customers. It was just people who I knew from Twitter. And I think it's because like once you start connecting with people, basically it's a community, and the more vulnerable and authentic I am on Twitter, the stronger this community gets. And it doesn't like get like the biggest, like, cause you can see people like treat Twitter more like, oh, I'm going to do threads about resources to learn things and they're going to grow crazy fast. They're going to get 100K followers in 1 year or something. Crazy big accounts, but they don't talk about their lives. They don't talk about their shit. Like they don't connect on that level, on that, like human, personal, emotional level. And so for me, that was surprising that
Yeah.
it's like almost not about my product. It's about, supporting founders, like, cause I also support people, obviously, on Twitter, also try to be portable for other people. And like, there's this kind of almost friendship. Like, it's just like we're a bunch of friends and we just support each other. And it just has this incredible power of now, even people who I don't even know recommend me because it seemed like it's because they appreciate it and they see that they can do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like one of the most powerful things about the platform, exactly like you said, people are recommending
Yeah,
you.
no,
They're not even customers, but they
yeah,
like you. They've gotten to know you
yeah.
and they trust you. They trust you enough to recommend you to someone else, even though they've never used the product. And that is so powerful in the way things are changing, how buyers' mindsets are happening in today's world, and the power and simplicity of being able to
Yeah.
connect and engage with people in a very authentic way. Can you give some examples? And again, it's hard to go to a playbook because it sounds like you're not, there's no playbook here. There's no guide.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You're just being
yeah.
yourself, right? You're sharing your struggles. You're sharing what you're going through on a day-to-day process. And for me and other people who have a little bit of a hard time in building sort of engagement or connecting with other people online, do you think about this stuff a lot beforehand? Do you think, hey, this is what I'm going to write about tomorrow or this week? This is a topic I'm going to cover. Or do you just like go to your computer and just like whatever comes to your mind, you just
So
start sharing?
there's two things. There's the first thing is, okay, so I'm going to just talk about what I share, and then I'm going to go back to like strategy because I'm both very authentic on like what I share, like that's very transparent, and I don't, have a big plan for that. But I'm also super strategic of what I do on Twitter. So I'll talk about that, right after. But like, so with what I share is like, I don't, I just like, basically I get down, I sit and I think about ideas. I mean, I used to do that. Now I actually just, by engaging with other people so often, it just gives me ideas every day that I write down. Like usually now, most of my tweets, it's just a reply I did to someone else like 2 weeks ago. And then it got some likes and I was like, oh, this is like, it's kind of like, an MVP for my tweets. Like, oh, people liked it. So then I can repurpose as a standalone tweet and I know it's going to be successful. I mean, at least
Uh-huh.
moderately. And like, because like you can never know if it's going to get truly viral, but that's like, so no, I don't, again, I try to share what's the most present for me, but I gotta say now I'm a bit more careful because sometimes I was like pretty depressed, like for a week or two, like for whatever reason, life happens. Sometimes you're down, you feel down. And I would just share like brutal truths, like hardcore, painful shit, like memes that are just like depressing, but like funny, funny, like, hey, you just making fun of getting 0 users, making fun of making 0 money. And like, and and I had some people be like,
Yeah.
dude, it's just fucking depressing. It's been 5 days of just being depressing. Like, come on. And so now I'm like, because I write tweets ahead of time. Now, I mean, right now I have like my next 30 days are written. Like everything is scheduled for the next 30 days now, right now at this stage. And so now when I have everything written out, I have some depressing, some happy, some fun, some inspiring, and I try to mix it up in a week. Because like I'm not gonna be depressing people from Monday to Friday. I'm gonna be like, one is gonna be depressing, one is gonna, I mean, depressing is a big word. It's not depressing, it's more like making fun of the pain of, building a startup. But it can be depressing if you just talk about that. So, now I kind of like switch it up. And I try to be, one is going to be fun, one is going to be happy, one is going to be celebration, one is going to be, oh shit, it's hard, one is going to be, and every week try to mix it up.
Yeah. Okay. And now your memes that you've been posting, they are hilarious.
Thanks,
I mean, they are absolutely hilarious. It seems like you're a big fan of SpongeBob.
Actually, I mean, I like it. I'm not a big fan, but I like it. And it's just like, I mean, I just find good meme ideas like on other websites, like on meme websites, and it's like very popular there. And I mean, it just works very well as a meme. And I like SpongeBob, but I couldn't say I'm a fan. Yeah. It's just, I just don't give a shit. I just like, if it's good material, I take it. It can be anything, So, I'm like, yeah.
Okay, and now you're starting to do some video memes. What are some of the tools and software that you're using to develop?
So
these?
the top two, for the regular memes, it's gonna be image flip. So it's like imgflip.com. It's like one of the best meme makers you can find. Very simple product. I use this on the beginning. It also gives you ton templates that you can. I mean, for my first like few months, I was just going there looking at templates and putting my own caption on it. Very easy. And for the video, I use an app. That was funny. It's an app called Viva Pinata, which is it's basically an app for kids. Like you go on this app, all you see is like fart jokes, jokes about. I mean, it's like an app for kids, like and like jokes about, jerking off. I mean, it's like very weird. Like I'm sorry to say. I was like, should I say it? But like that's true. Like just like shitty jokes for kids, for like people in like high school who think that kind of thing is fun. But they have an amazing tech for like you take a video and then you can attach a caption to it and it follows the character. Like it's just amazing. It looks amazing. And I saw that one day randomly. I never heard about this app. And I was like, and I saw that and I was like, well, I need to use this. Now, the problem is it's only available in the US. So I like open the app store in France. So in Europe, I try to download it and I can't. So I remember going through so many hoops because I have tons of subscriptions. Because I know like what you can do is you can change the store, like change the Apple store, like on your, the app store you use on your device. But I couldn't do this because I had tons of like Apple TV subscriptions and stuff. I mean, I have subscriptions, so I couldn't do it. So I had to cancel all my subscriptions, wait for everything to run out. Then I could switch to a fake address in California, download the app, and then re-switch back and resubscribe to everything. So I did that. I was happy for 1 month. And then they tell me, oh, you haven't updated the app in a long time. You get to download the update now. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not going through this again.
Oh,
and
no.
Because I had like a couple successful viral tweets with these video memes I made, I just contacted the team and said, guys, fucking do something. I need to use it. And because I'm a developer and I used to build mobile apps at some point, I know how it goes. I'm like, can you just give me like the test flight beta build? Can you just give me the private build?
Yeah.
So like now I have the beta build. And and actually sometimes there's tons of bugs because I don't even have the real one. I just have the ones they use for testing. So some ones they just have shitty bugs. Like the other day I lost all my drafts. And I was like, fuck it. I mean, so now, I mean, it's a hard life to like make video memes. Yeah. But yeah.
That is such a creative idea, though. Just ask for the test flight app. That's a good idea. What about other tools? Like, are you using any sort of scheduling software? or
Oh,
not
actually, I said Viva Pinata, but
for
I got
tweets?
confused. That's a video game that I used to play like 10 years ago. The name is Pinata Farms. The name is Pinata Farms. That's not Viva Pinata. I made
Okay.
a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, what was your question? I just feel like after saying all that, I want them to get users, so I want to help them. So, yeah. But,
Yeah, absolutely. What about tweets like scheduling? Any platforms that help you schedule your tweets?
yeah, so, there's a
Are you
ton of
using
these.
any
Uh, I use Hype Fury because it's the first one I heard about. Honestly, that's the reason I'm using it, and
yeah,
it's good. I mean, it's working good, and it's very simple because uh, since I started growing on Twitter, I basically had most of these Twitter scheduling tools give me a free account so I can use it, and
yeah,
it would show under my tweets that it's been scheduled by their tool. Uh, so I haven't, but it's funny, like I don't feel comfortable with that, you know. Uh, so I still pay for Hypeo. They didn't offer me anything free, but like I'm like, I still like it. If they hear this podcast, please guys, give
yeah.
me something for free. But but what I'm saying is, yeah, I'm using this tool which is Hype Fury, and it's I like it because it's simple enough. Like, because I tried other tools and they try to do everything. They can try to do like AI tweet generation. They can try to do uh too many things for Twitter. And I like with Hype Fury, it's just like a schedule of when you should tweet, and it just reminds you, and you just have to fill the spots ahead of time. And it also calculates the best time for you. And then you can just, you can just use that. So like it's very, relaxing. You don't have to, yeah, it's not too complex. So that's why I use that.
Yeah, no, I've used it too. What I like about it is that you can create evergreen tweets based on your most
Yeah.
popular tweets and
I
do
used,
certain
I used to
thresholds.
have
Like,
that.
okay,
Yeah.
only do an evergreen tweet. Yeah, if it's got like a minimum number of likes or something like that. What about any sort of Twitter keyword research or anything like that? Are you using any sort of
Oh yeah.
the Twitter analytics or anything? Like, what are some of the hacks that you're doing around that?
So for the keywords, I mean, it's all about the topics. If you got to look at Twitter topics and find the keywords that, I mean, basically, I mean, Twitter algo is dumb. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is. Like, Twitter algo, like, it doesn't understand synonyms. It doesn't understand any of that. It just understands the name of the topic. So if you want to be trending in the marketing topic, you need to use the word marketing. If you just talk about marketing, but you don't say marketing, it's not going to work. And I find it funny because like with friends, like this summer, we're trying to understand the Twitter algo, and we were like, okay, it must be super complex. And we were trying all these crazy things and nothing was working. I was like, we just got to use the fucking word. That's it. It needs to have the word marketing, startup, design, whatever you're after. And, so yeah, that's a major part of growing on Twitter is using this word. Because like, if you don't use one of these topic words, and again, so to help people, topics is like what you see, like you're in the home feed and you're going to see, oh, trending in, marketing, trending in business. Uh, and, so you need to use so you can click on that and you can find a list of topics from there. And then you just have all the list of like either top would be like business. And then under there's going to be subtopics like startups, founding, entrepreneur, small business. And then these small words, these are the ones
Okay.
you need to use. And then when you use a word like that, you can start trending. And it's like very important because that's how you get your tweets beyond your circle. Because like, I mean, there's two ways to go beyond your circles. It's people retweeting you basically, mostly. But like, it's very hard to get a retweet, and it's normal because like, it's, like I almost never retweet anything because, it's like, if you want to have,
Yeah, same here.
yeah, because like, it's a big investment. So like, so the other way to go beyond, the circle of followers you have and grow faster is to use a keyword, because that way, if your tweet gets a few likes, quickly, like for me, I noticed as soon as you get like, if you get 10 likes, in like maybe, let's say 5 likes in 10 minutes is probably enough. I'm not sure anymore. Cause now I get more than that. So it's like, I don't remember exactly how it was before, but like, and it's funny, it can work when you have nothing. Like when I had 300 followers, I was already trending sometimes. And it's not because,
Yeah.
and the mistake people make is they're going to think, oh, it's because he has amazing tweets. But that's always the story you say when you see someone succeed. You assume they're doing amazing work. But it's not that true. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not doing good work, but I'm saying I see tons of people with amazing tweets and have 0 likes. Okay. And that's just like, and that's because
Yeah.
they don't have that initial boost from like people liking them quickly. And then they don't use the keywords, so they don't get a chance to get big. Like if I wasn't using keywords, I wouldn't like, cause right now I'm probably make at least one tweet a week at like more than 2,000 likes, like one big one, like one viral tweet. Like it's been like this for the past few weeks.
Yeah.
But without the keyword, it would not happen. I mean, maybe 1 out of 10, but the keyword is what gives you access to like the broader Twitter beyond your circle and get big when you have a good one. Yeah.
Okay. And the keyword research, are you just using Twitter for that keyword research?
Yeah. I mean,
are
it's
you
not,
using
it's not
another
like
tool?
Google where you have search queries. It's mostly topics basically. So if you talk about marketing, you need to use marketing. If you talk about startups, you need to use startups, and so on. If you talk about crypto, you use crypto. I mean, you basically, you can also see the full list in your settings. If you go to Twitter settings and you dig into, I think, content preferences or something, and you can see actually access a page to like the full list of every topic and subtopic. And basically you need one of these keywords in every tweet if you want to get chance at some traction.
Okay. Got you. Okay. Are you also, doing any other paid media or investing your time in any other social channels, or is it just predominantly Twitter?
So before I found Twitter, I tried it. I tried Google Ads. I remember spending $600 and making 0. So that was expensive.
I've been there.
Yeah, I think most of us, yeah. Then I wanted to try Facebook ads, but I never did because I was like, it seemed like it's even more expensive to get some good. I mean, you need a big budget to at least like a couple of thousands to get some meaningful data out of it. So I didn't try it.
Yeah.
But I also tried sponsoring newsletters. I remember I spent like $200 to sponsor, I think, 4 different newsletters, like for indie hackers that are mostly my target market. And it was hard to track, so I can't know exactly, but it didn't seem to do anything big. So basically, and it's funny, the reason I tried this is because as someone who doesn't want to do marketing, because I just want to build a product, I don't want to do marketing. It's disgusting. You know what I mean? I have this, bias. Well, I thought, well, I can just focus on the product and then invest money in marketing, like Google Ads or sponsor, and it's going to work. And I think it's an assumption a lot of people make before they try. And then you try and you realize, no, it doesn't fucking work. Like, it's not like that. You can't just like pay money and then you make money. Like, it's like, I mean, to get to that point, it would need so much money to make testing, to understand. Like, it doesn't go like that.
Yep.
It's like, you have to hustle. And so eventually I was like, after trying all that, it failed. And so I started doing Twitter and I got some traction. So I was, okay, I'm going to focus on that because I finally make some money. It's been years building this startup, not making anything. So I'm just going all in. And now I'm just all in on Twitter. I spend probably 8 hours a day on Twitter for 6 months. Like, I just was full time on Twitter, understanding the algorithm, interacting with everybody. I just did nothing else. My product hasn't changed in 10 months because of that. I'm actually doing my first week building features right now because I finally found the good processes to spend less time on Twitter, let it run itself, and still get some good engagement. But yeah, I'm full time on Twitter because of all that it gets me. Like, it's just way bigger than like word of mouth or sales. Like, it's just like Twitter brings me so much opportunity. Like, the biggest one would be right now is SEO. Like, my wife, so my co-founder, she's about, and so she designs all the logos on our platform. And I did all the coding and building the platform. And, she's really good at writing content about, design. And so we're going to start SEO this year. She's starting to write articles. So I did keyword research and all the SEO stuff we got to do. So we're working on that. But, I get about 1 new backlink every day doing nothing specific about it just from Twitter. Like, I mean, because, for people who don't know, for SEO, if you want to be ranked on Google, you need a website with lots of links to your website. And links, it's not a link from Twitter because it doesn't really count. It's a link from other websites. Okay. Like for example, you're interviewing me right now. When you put the podcast up on your website, there will be a link to Logology. That's a backlink, just to give people an example. With Twitter, from people talking about, what I do on Twitter, whether it's a story, my memes, whether it's interviews, whether it's people including me in list of whatever, top Twitter accounts to follow, people are going to mention my site. And now I literally get one backlink a day for the past, 3 to 4 months. Not doing anything to get those. I'm on Twitter. So that's going to build up to my wife doing SEO on the other end. I mean, writing content for keywords that people search on Google. And then the two together are just going to, help us rank, for these queries and get even more traffic. So that's why I'm not letting go of Twitter, because you have word of mouth. Like, we said earlier, it's building up on my backlink profile. Like, it's crazy how many backlinks I get from that. Also credibility. Like, it's just like so many opportunities. So I do interviews with you right now. This is a kind of opportunity. I would never have that opportunity without Twitter, obviously. Then it's, partnerships. I had someone like 6 months ago who he became like a friend now. Like, he said, "Oh wow, I love what you're doing. Would love to support you." And that was funny. That was because I shared about me struggling with something. And it was like, "Oh wow, tried your product, love it. It could help our customers. Let's do a partnership. I want to support you." And, he has a company called Better Legal about, helping you create an LLC in the US, very easily. Really cool product that he's actually rebuilding in no code now. So it's very interesting to follow his story. Actually, I'm just going to give him a bit of a shout out. Let me just remember exactly his account. Yeah, it's Chad Sakonchik. So it's CS Acon on Twitter. And he's like the founder of Better Legal. Anyway. And he was like, he just sent me a DM, was like, "Well, man, let's do a partnership." And now everybody who signs up on his product, they get an email saying, "If you need the logo, you use Logology." And I gave him a commission. But like, what I'm saying is, this is from Twitter. Like, I mean, before that, I tried to get affiliate. I tried to get affiliates, but I was like so clumsy. I didn't know how to do it. I tried and I failed. I tried everything, but like with Twitter, things come to me. So for me, who doesn't want to be spreading myself too thin, just by doing Twitter, like the only thing I basically either do Twitter or build my product. I only do that. But Twitter brings me everything for marketing, So that's why I love it. And
I totally understand what you mean. I mean, the first 20 or 30 guests I had in my podcast, I had to reach out. But the current people I'm interviewing in my next 5 guests are through Twitter. So I know exactly what you mean, Dagobet. Let's see here. We're having a little tech difficulties. Can you still hear me? There you are. Okay, great. So you're engaging with dozens of people daily on Twitter. You're meeting so many new people. Has this changed your personality at all? Because you mentioned that when it comes to like anything social, you're just not really good at it. But now, after a year of having such phenomenal success through this channel, are you a different person now? And if so, how?
So did it change me? Yeah. So actually it changed my perspective because I didn't realize there was all this support available. I didn't know you could have so much feeling of support, of community with other people. I didn't know there was something that was available. I had an experience of like a co-working space locally, which is actually where I met my wife 10 years ago. But, it's like, it wasn't necessarily people who were on the same journey as me, building startups and all. And so now, having found a community of hundreds of people who are pretty close, and then thousands more who are less close, but who are on the same path. I mean, it changed me because basically I feel more social now because I never could find the people who I really resonated with.
Yeah.
because, I don't want to talk about, I mean, I have one of my best friends in life, but like, we don't really talk about that stuff because like, he's like a more regular, white collar, do a job thing. And he has different aspirations, and I'm more in like adventure, create my own life, be free from a boss, and of like, all that stuff. So that was truly, to me, that's the most beautiful thing is I found people like me, and I didn't know that it was possible. I
Yeah.
mean, to find, I mean, at least that many I didn't know. So yeah, it changed me in that way because I feel, and because of that, I feel more, less negative because, when you're alone and you feel like alone, like you feel negative, and I feel less negative about things. And I feel like, I mean, I'm just a bit happier
Yeah.
to be on this journey by not feeling alone. So yeah, yeah. And also seeing everybody has different struggles. It also helped me see that I don't suck as much as I think. Because like, you build a startup, it's so hard. You feel like, oh, I suck. Like, I'm wasting so much time. I'm not making money, blah, blah, blah. So you always, kick yourself for that. But everybody's like that. And thanks to Twitter, I started to realize that every founder goes, I mean, there's some geniuses who make a shit ton of money and then you feel jealous and like, and like some people are just very, much better. And like, it's just everything they touch is amazing. You have a couple of people like
Yeah.
that, but most people, it's just like you make tons of mistakes. Sometimes you have bad days, and it's normal, and it doesn't prevent you from eventually succeeding. Like, it's not, you can succeed even though you suck some days,
Yeah.
even though sometimes you make mistakes. If you just keep going and you keep trying and you keep changing things. If you fail, like if you keep trying things that don't work and you still like, okay, I'm going to update what I'm doing. Like me, eventually I started tweeting, which was outside my comfort zone, but eventually that's how I found a way to make money with my startup, finally, to find some distribution for it. But yeah, I feel like this really showed me that you can always prevail even if you make mistakes.
Yeah. That's wonderful. That's awesome to hear, Dagobert. Before we go, I just have a couple of questions to ask you that I'd like to ask my guests so they can get to know more about your personality. Obviously, they can just follow
Yeah.
you on Twitter to understand that, but maybe you could fill in the blank on these questions here. Okay. First question for you
Yeah.
is, if money wasn't a factor, I would do blank with my time. If money wasn't a factor, I would do blank with my time. What would that be, Dagobert?
I would do the same thing, but a bit more chill. Yeah. I would do the same thing, but chiller. Cause I overwork right now to try to reach our goal of like, having a base salary from this, both me and my wife, and we're getting close. So I'm just
Yeah.
like working my ass off to get there. But yeah,
Okay.
so, but I would be so bored without it. I would be so bored without that. So I would just do it, but like chill.
Okay. Next question for you then. Before I run for president, I must destroy all my evidence of my involvement with blank. What would that be, Dagobert?
Oh shit.
Before you run for president, you have to
Yeah, yeah,
destroy
yeah.
your evidence with blank.
Hmm. I would probably have to destroy a couple edgy memes that I did, because I did some that were a bit like, I did one about porn one day and it completely failed, but I was like, okay, I shouldn't have done that, you know. So yeah, I should look through everything. I remember I almost got canceled once because I tweeted about, uh, I compared, building a startup to like giving birth. And I got all these women shitting on me, be like, it's not the same. It's much harder to give birth. I'm like, I assume it is, but I just was, because the joke was like, I keep telling founders to keep pushing. And when I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's what you say to someone who's giving birth. So I was like, you got to keep pushing. And I was like, this is funny, but some people didn't think it was funny.
That's funny. That's funny, but I'm not a woman, so
Yeah. And it's funny. I had support from tons of women, but
yeah.
they were usually like 20 or 25. So probably didn't give birth. I guess
Yeah.
once you go through that,
Yeah.
And I understand that. But yeah, I would probably have to see what I do with that tweet, before I run for president, because somebody's gonna dig him out, dig it out.
Okay, Dagobert, where can people learn more about you?
So yeah, so I'm glad you like that. So don't laugh too loud, because then people will cancel you now. But no, I'm kidding. Be careful. But yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah. So it's my Twitter. So Dago. I mean, you can just find me on Twitter with my name. So Dago Renouf, that's my handle. And then it's going to be Logology. As I said, it's either on my website or my Twitter. Everything is there. So the other one is Logology, logology.co, which is our logo generating tool for startups that we've been building with my wife for 4 years. Put all our hearts into it. My wife, who is, an expert logo designer, used to do that as a consultant for years. And, we really try to put all of the beauty of her work, but like make it accessible to every startup founder. So it costs only $100 and not like $2,000 when you do it custom. So yeah, if people can give it a try, that would be awesome.
All right, fantastic. Dagobert, thank you so much for being on Innovators Can Laugh. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give us a review and star rating. Also, don't forget to sign up for the ICO newsletter at innovatorscanlaugh.com, where you can get the bio and details of each guest. Thanks.